Why relationships break down? Have you got a relationship or have been through relationships where it's just broken down? Well, if you do, you're not alone. Stay tuned. Not everyone has a perfect relationship with everyone. And if you do, it's probably because you're a doormat who pleases everyone, or a politician who wants to get votes from everyone. And so, you're just nice to everyone. And so you have your main motivation is to have great relationships with everyone. I'm going to give you some great relationship advice because from my own experience, I've been through a lot of relationships in my life, and I'd like to share with you how I've navigated through them and how I've lost many of them, but how I've also nurtured a lot of them. And this is how I've managed to keep a lot of amazing relationships in my life after over 50 years of life. Now, the fundamental problem with relationships breaking down is the breakage of trust. All relationships require trust. Hi there, I'm Patsy Wu, turning your ideas into dollars so you can have a champagne life. The champagne life is really not what you think, but it's time to pop the cork in your champagne life so that you can sip your way to success and revel in bubbles of bliss, the Wu way. So relationships. 3 areas where relationships break down is the first thing that I can think of for a relationship to break down is lack of communication. Probably the number one thing why relationships break down. People are not communicating, whether they are poor communicators or they're just having some weird energy that they just cannot communicate, or they're just too proud to communicate. Somewhere along the line of the relationship, something has happened, someone's pissed off, and the person who's pissed off is not wanting to share why they're pissed off. So maybe there was an expectation, or maybe there was a broken promise. So whatever it is, if you're not happy with something or if someone's not happy with you, they should communicate, they should tell you, because we are not mind readers. So we cannot assume that the other person knows what to do, because not everyone thinks like you. So if you're not happy with something, you need to share that with the person so that they actually realize that they have hurt you, and then maybe they can do something about it, or maybe that person doesn't care about you, and then that's good, because then you have told them and they still don't care. Then you know that maybe that's a person you don't want to have in your life, right? Let me share my example with you about the waiting game. It's not a good game to play, okay? So I used to have an aunt who was a lovely aunt, and I really, really respected her, and we had a good relationship. But at some point, I was really struggling with my dad, and one day because he was tormenting us. I wouldn't use the word tormenting us, but he was making life very difficult for us kids. And I went to my aunt to say, why are you not doing anything? We need help. We are the children and we need help. And ever since then, she was also very frustrated, and things were just not the same again. I think I don't know what she thought, but anyway, because she's family, obviously we have to meet each other at every family gathering. And I remember one day at a family event, she said, don't take photos of me. And I was like, okay, but why? And she said, oh, then you're going to put it on the internet. And I was really, really upset, because first of all, what kind of person does she think I am to simply put other people's pictures on the internet? I actually have the courtesy to ask for permission before I simply put your picture on the internet. So none of you have to worry about me using your picture on the internet without permission. I will always ask first, right? So that kind of upset me. And then later, when I wanted to do my duty as a niece to keep in touch with her, to ask her how she is, I invited her out for coffee quite a few times, and she always declined. And the only time she would meet is when other people are around. So then I kind of know, that okay, this woman does not like me, does not want to have anything to do with me for whatever reason. I don't really know, and so I'll just let it rest, because in my conscience, I have not done anything. I really haven't. And if I have, then it's on her to tell me what I've done wrong. So if you've had a similar experience, you might want to attempt to iron things out. But if the other person isn't willing, then there's not much else you can do. I've tried calling her many times to have a chat about this, and she wasn't willing. So next, maybe one day. Another time, there was a waiting game being played. was that I had a friend who I really, really adored and I really, really respected. And I even thought that she was so lovely. I wondered if it was my late mom embodied into her, because she was so, so kind. And I really loved her with all my heart. But suddenly, she just vanished. And I don't know why. I kind of could guess why. And it was really true no fault of mine. And so I waited and waited for her to make a move, but she didn't. So then I thought, okay, maybe I'll just be gracious to make the move. And I contacted her to say hello, and we met. And she still did not bring up why she was angry at me and suddenly disappeared. I asked, but you know, when people don't want to tell you the truth, they just won't tell you the truth. So you're never really going to know. But as long as your conscience is clear, as long as you know that you've not done anything wrong, then people are what they are for what they are. You just do you and continue living your life as the best version of yourself. It was probably a pride issue, but... And then another relationship I had was also with a friend. I had done so much for this friend. You know, I was carrying tons of books to fly around to deliver these books to her. I would give her designer bags. I just felt that I had done so much for her. And she just stopped talking to me one day. And I have no idea why till this day. Do I want to reach out? Well, the thing is, this friend of mine has a history. Whenever she doesn't like something, she will just go AWOL. She will just go MIA for a couple of months. And then after that, she will reappear as though nothing has ever happened, you know, like we're best friends again. And this time round, I decided that I didn't want to play this inconsistent friendship game anymore. You're either my friend, you're either in or you're out. I don't like playing games. I don't like having to guess whether you're mad at me or not. You know, life is too short. I just want to have very, very genuine relationships where I don't have to guess. The second problem with why relationships break down is when you have two people and it is a one-sided affair. Only one person is always giving, and then the other person is always taking. So it comes to a point where the person who's giving gets a bit fed up, right? So then as the person who's giving, you need to decide if you want to continue giving, or maybe you need to end this relationship or put a stop to your giving. So for me personally, I used to have a team and I felt that I gave a lot. They may not have realized it because it was a network marketing business, and so I noticed that a lot of network marketing people or people in the MLM industry, they have this traditional mindset that think that if I'm under you and you are my leader, I should be working for you, and so you should compensate me, even though the company already compensates me. So I think that a lot of the people in my team had that mentality, expecting me to give them a lot of things when they were working hard. But the thing is, the company pays you. You work hard for you, not for me. I work hard for me, you work hard for you. And whoever does the hard work will get compensated from the company. It's got nothing to do with me. So, you know, in my journey of working, none of my own leaders gave me stuff, right? So it is just this mentality of expectation that, oh, I'm working so hard for you, so you should do all this for me, you should give me all that, and it's the wrong mentality to have, unfortunately. And so after all the giving that I did, I just felt so drained. I gave so much until I didn't even have enough for myself. I sacrificed my time with my family for years, but no one appreciated it, and everyone just took it for granted because I was doing well. And because I was doing well, nobody else cared about me. Everybody was just taking and doing their own thing. And my husband used to ask me, if anything were to happen to you, do any of these people actually care? Will anyone call you to see how you are if you were in hospital? And the truth is, nobody did. So, you know, to me, they were just takers. They were just taking. And I raised it with one of them recently. And I said, why didn't you ask me if I was okay? And she said, because you're a leader. You seem so big and okay. Why? We didn't even think that you were not okay. So perhaps people with these kind of mentalities are not aligned with me, and so that's why I left for a while. And then I also had a friend whom I really cared for and nurtured so much. She was alone, new in school. I used to bring her around to introduce her to all my different groups of friends so that she actually had some new friends, right? And all she did was exclude me and ran off with my old friends to start their own little girl groups and totally abandoned me. So I guess I cut her off. However, having said that, I've also been in situations where I have been completely unaware of my friendship with another friend, and one day she cut me off and she said that I was always there only when I needed help. I didn't think it was true. It was only because I was so busy. And you know, when you have a contact database of 50,000 people, and although you're not in touch with 50,000 people all the time, and maybe only 200 of them are in your radar, it's hard to stay in touch with so many people. You know, time is really a commodity, and with children, and you're just busy, right? You're so busy. And it was my fault. It was my fault that I was too busy to pay her enough attention. And so she felt that she was not important in my life, when actually, in reality, she was a very important person in my life. It's just that she needed attention and I wasn't there to give it at that point in time. And so she cut me off and I was very, very sad for it. And until today, we still do not have a relationship. But I'm hopeful that one day it will happen again, because we used to know each other since our childhood, you know? So if you are a giver, then you really need to stop giving and decide if you want to continue this relationship. Otherwise, just stop. Now, the third reason why relationships break down, and trust me, there are many, many reasons, I'm just giving you 3 today, is betrayal. Is a betrayal. And a betrayal is when trust is completely broken. So this is like violation of your trust by someone else. So it could be a partner being unfaithful, or a friend ditching you for someone else, or people talking behind your back to other people. I mean, these are all betrayals, right? People who are always so nice to you in front of your face, but then go bitch about you behind your back. I've had tons of those. And unfortunately, these are people who just don't dare tell things to me to my face. I mean, if I had a problem with anyone, I'm always okay to share it, not in a bad way, but in a way that is fruitful for the both of us, so that the relationship can grow, right? But some people, maybe it's out of jealousy or whatever the reasons are, they just want to bring other people down. Maybe there was expectation, and you know, people are not perfect, and certainly I'm not perfect either. And so if you have a problem with me, you should come and tell me, not just go behind my back to bitch about it, you know? So the examples of these betrayals in my life, let's see which ones I want to share with you today, because I've had like tons. So I had a friend in school who was very jealous of me because I had all the friends and all the communities, all the friendships, and she was new and she didn't have any friends. And so when I introduced her to a particular friend, she started lying about me to that friend, so that that friend would go with her more than stay with me. And they made up, I mean, the two of them just started becoming a clique, and I became the bad guy. And trust me, I was completely oblivious, and that just happened to me. But I realized that it's because of her insecurity, and she wanted a friend so much, and so she just needed to do her thing. Another example is I had a friend who used to have a lot of connections, big connections with a certain category of people, and she would always hide it from another person. It's not me, but I could witness it, you know? I could see it happening. There are some people in this world who are very, very protective with their contacts, and it's fine if they want to be that way. But if you are like sisters, then I think that it's kind of like a betrayal, because sisters should not hide so much, should not be so competitive with each other. And then another friend, basically people who ghost you for no reason. I mean, it's a betrayal, right? You think you're good friends, and then suddenly they just stop talking to you without telling you. So those are really people that are worth losing anyway. And some people will give you the silent treatment to punish you, and some will go with the clan to show how happy they are together without you, just to make you feel, maybe not intentionally to make you feel awful, but they're excluding you. Yeah, they're excluding you. So if they're not including you, then obviously you're gonna wonder why when they used to include you, or worse, when you're the one who brought everyone together, and then suddenly they just go off and exclude you, right? So, you know, coming back to boundaries in my last video that you can watch here, you decide what kind of friendships you want. You decide what kind of relationships you want. What are the quality of relationships? What do people need to do or not do to actually have the space of you in their lives. You know, you are really important, you matter. So don't let people take advantage of you and pull at your emotions and heartstrings anyhow they want. You create your boundaries so that you can protect yourself. I have had friends who are only friendly with me because they knew that I had connections, and so they became my friends for the connections. They knew that I could get them to places. They would, you know, all these fake reasons for being my friend. They all rode with it, and then as soon as they found out that I wouldn't do it for them, they dropped me. Just like that. And that's how I knew that they weren't real friends. Because people can be so sweet to you, but I give myself 7 years because I feel that a friend cannot pretend. A person cannot pretend for 7 years straight. If they can, they're pretty good. But more often than not, people who are fake will drop off in under 7 years. Should you befriend a friend who's betrayed you? Well, a leopard doesn't change its spots. Very rarely, very, very rarely. And I heard on social media somewhere that a snake becomes a bigger snake when they come back. A snake can only shed its skin, but it just becomes a bigger snake. So if you've been betrayed before, then you want to reconsider. However, having said that, I have had friendships where it is not a betrayal, where people just ghost me, but they had very good reasons to do so. So always check, always come out clean. And obviously it takes two to tangle. So if the other person is not willing to tangle with you, then what can you do, right? You just move on. But if you can, put out your cards on the table so that you can come clean, both parties, to have a mutually beneficial relationship again. Because this world that we live in is meant for love, not for hatred. If you'd like to work with me, get in touch on social media or check the show notes below, and please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. I would be so grateful. If you would like to work with me, I have a free training that will show you how to create a beautiful champagne life the Wu way, so that you can start something really worthy and create generational wealth for your family and beyond. And the reason this is so important is because in order to create generational wealth, you need your emotions in check. You need how to be really good with relationships. And this is why it's important. All right, lovelies, cheers to your life of abundance. I'd love to invite you to work with me if you feel called, so we can toast your transformation to sparkle in every moment. Adios.